Hey guys, what's up? It's Trader Goz. So I just wanted to restart my TA videos series. So just a quick input. These are not financial advice, just my own opinions on the market. So as usual, starting the analysis with the Dixie. So it looks bullish to me, which is not going to be good for investments in the. This is on the weekly, so it looks like we're heading to the 100 level. So it looks like we might have some. If we look at this with a bearish bias over the next few weeks. Um, it's not good news for me on the SPX. It looks like we're actually going to crash very soon. We have a little upside, tag this, and then we're going to crash. That's what it looks like to me. Looking overall at Amazon, we're still ranging. Looking at gold, not looking good. Looking like we're heading more to the downside. Looking at silver, about the same. I think we're just sort of testing the lows. We're going to get more downside on silver as well. Similar with platinum. Looking at the cryptos, so looking at Bitcoin. So for Bitcoin, I'm expecting this to push a bit lower, probably around that level. Tag it, and before we start the uptrend again. In terms of ETH, the similar kind of looking at the 2800 levels that we're heading towards first. Looking at oil, so oil actually looks a bit bullish compared to everything else. Uh, Overall, I think we're on an uptrend for oil, so I think this is going to expand to the upside. So I think oil might be something that's bullish in the medium term. Looking at Litecoin, Litecoin looks pretty bearish to me overall as well. So if we reflect off this level, we should have some upside. But for now, given the other cryptos, it looks like we're probably heading down as well on Litecoin. Looking at a few more sort of indicators. So let me just move down a bit, covering the other cryptos. So let's start with Link. So Link actually looks bearish. Everyone's saying Link is gonna go to the moon, but Link actually rejected off a critical level, a long-term level. So it looks like Link is pretty bearish as well. YFI looks pretty bearish. Try to make a sort of jump up, but it looks pretty bearish as well again. Can leave YFI 2 for now. Accumulation. Uni looks pretty bearish as well. ADA looks pretty bearish. Looks like we'll visit the bottom of this range around the 1.045 level before we. So that's something what I'm expecting something like this. Take out this low and then see what happens. Looking at XLM, about this, so XLM about the same. Seeing some small downside there. Looking at XMR about the same. So all the cryptos look like about like more or less the same. I think this is also the same. Like I think we look for one more downside before we look for upside on BNB. OMG the same. Tron the same. Sushi. So for sushi, actually, I'm expecting a bit of upside given the fundamentals. And there's a push for DeFi. So for sushi, I'm expecting this to form and a push up. So that's what I'm expecting for sushi. In terms of Neo, I think we are also forming a kind of bottoming structure. So we can look at probably some consolidation before upside. CRV looks like we're looking for massive upside. It looks like we're actually again retesting this sort of critical accumulation range and then looking for the massive upside there. For PCH, like Neo, looks like we're forming a bottom. Theta actually looks like this looks really bad. Like it actually looks like we might actually end up visiting a much lower range. So that's pretty. Looking at SXP, so I think SXP, Neo, PCH, all of these are going to move together. AVAX, this looks pretty bad, but I think we'll see some consolidation, then a dip down. Probably tag one of these lows, probably tag this range, and then do something. So I think that's what we're doing for AVAX, for Avalanche, and then for Dot actually looks pretty good. It looks like we reclaimed this important level, which I marked earlier. So it looks like we might see some upside from there. EOS about the same, probably visiting the low of the range. Uh, Tezos, just don't want to cover it. ETC about the same, band about the same. The band sitting on support, looking at the SXP kind of level, so I think we can look for some upside. Comp about the same, looking for upside, but for comp there's this critical level that has to cover the 273. VeChain looking for upside. Algo looking for massive upside on Algo. So it looks like CRV, it's testing that important level. So I think we look for massive upside on Algo and CRV. Ontology, yeah, I think like the long-term coins, Sol looks pretty bad overall. I saw Sol a bit earlier. Looks like we're gonna top out, and then we'll see that, and then this, and then that. That's what's gonna happen to Sol, which people are not gonna like, but that's what I'm expecting from Sol overall. Um, and that is in line with the high volume in the first peak, rejection, lower volume in the second peak, and the third sort of peak and sort of breaking down. So this is what I'm expecting from Sol. SRM, not really interested. So Atom is the one which looks really interesting. So Atom occupying the top of this range, refusing to go back into this mid range. So Atom, I'm actually expecting that this is going to be a great year for Atom, and you're expecting something like that massive kind of cylinder. Uh, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Livermore cylinder, so this might actually break up really high before crashing down. So I think look at Atom for Q1, Q2 in terms of technicals. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Waves doesn't make sense. Maker, okay. So I think for now I don't see anything else that's really interesting. Yeah, nothing else. HDR, something that I always have. So I have HDR. Gonna hold it long term. But for now, if you're entering something, I would enter CRV. Um, if you look for something, I'm going to be entering CRV. I'm going to be entering Atom. So I'm picking up Atom here, picking up CRV here, and looking for the upside. I think that's my plan from a crypto standpoint, at least for the first quarter of 2022. Wish you all a happy new year, and yeah, stay tuned.